What's up, y'all? It's Jay, and today we're starting a new segment called Basketball Concepts Now. All right, and in this segment, we're going over Floppy, featuring Duncan Robinson. Man, Floppy is a very common NBA action set, and we may go over different actions that we feel like are teachable moments for players and coaches at any level. College, NBA, even high school. But for now, just a little bit of background on Duncan Robinson. He's scoring 13 points a game this season. He's been a breakout player in the NBA. And if the season did end today, which it probably will, given the pandemic, or at least very close to it, if we can still salvage something, he'd be fourth in the league in three-point field goal percentage. Okay, 44.8, while being sixth in the league in three-point field goal attempts. All right, so very high volume, and he's very efficient. Okay, I mean, he takes 9.4 shots a game, and 8.4 of them are three-point attempts. So basically 90% of his attempts from the field are threes, and dude barely dribbles. All right, so Duncan Robinson is a specialist. I say this in a good way. Like he's basically what you want somebody to be. If they're going to bring one thing to the table, you want them to be as good as Duncan Robinson is at this, and it happens to be an extremely important thing. He's a marksman who really helps the Heat spacing, and the Heat are a good offense, and he's a real big part of that, man. So, very high true shooting percentage, not a lot of production otherwise, but third in the league in true shooting, which kind of takes into account the 2-point field goal and 3-point field goal, as far as the weight of it, because obviously threes are worth another point. He's been extraordinarily efficient, man. So let's get into it, man. Basketball Concepts Now, Floppy featuring Duncan Robinson. Okay, so now getting into what we're going to talk about now is a floppy set, okay? Very common in the NBA. You can see there's a player under the basket. There's typically a double screen on one side and a single screen on the other. Now, don't get caught up in the numbers here. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's any position you want. You can run it for whoever. A lot of times it's the one up top running it for wings, and the bigs are screening. But, other teams may run it more inverted. The Warriors run, and the Blazers can run a lot of this, and somebody else will be handling the ball for, Damian Lillard and Klay Thompson, CJ McCollum, Steph Curry, obviously. So the person under the basket can choose either way to go. They can choose the double screen or the single screen. Most of the time, they will get the ball because, this is a tough thing to guard. You don't know which way they're going to go. Most of the time, they're going to get open. When that doesn't happen, it creates a screen-the-screener situation. So in this case, you can see one uses the single screen, and that means 3 and 4 will step up and screen 2. So when you screen, whichever way the offensive player goes, the person who sets that first screen has to get screened for and go opposite. Okay, that creates a tough situation for the defense. It really keeps things active on the weak side and the strong side. So it may not be just an open 3. It could be a catch and dribble penetration into a kick, into a pull-up, into, the defense should be disorganized if you run this correctly. So we'll get right into the actual play itself featuring Duncan Robinson, man. Here he is in a game earlier this season, and, we'll slow it down in a second, but this is the gist of it. Okay, you got a double screen on one side, Bam Adebayo and Myers Leonard screen for him. He gets a pass, and, he could really shoot that ball. So let's slow it down a bit here. Here's Duncan Robinson, as you can see, circled. Double screen on one side, single on the other. Well, Jimmy Butler's not quite deep enough yet, and Duncan's kind of predetermining it. But there's your shot. Typical, basic floppy action. Here's another one, okay? On this one, you're going to notice that Tyler Hero is the primary player that is going under the double screen here, and that means that Duncan Robinson, who sets the screen for Hero, is going to go opposite and use the single screen. All right, you can see that here, and this is how it looks when the play is engaged, and just so you can kind of see the screener action after the fact, like I just mentioned before. So here we go, Hero, and then Robinson uses the single screen as Hero uses the double. Now Hero kind of stops there. He probably was making a different read. Maybe he wanted to pop one way or another. But Duncan takes the single screen and shoots that. And, that's Floppy featuring Duncan Robinson of the Miami Heat.